You must have never seen such an amazing man. Without using any modern tools, he dug out a luxury suite from the mountain with his bare hands. Not only did he install an automatic heating system to enjoy the wild northeast Kang, he also developed a manual water pump to achieve free use of water. In addition, there are all kinds of supporting living facilities such as fireplaces, baths, deep wells, etc. He turned the wilderness survival into a wild vacation. The man's name is Ajun. He became unemployed right after graduation. He couldn't afford the 800 yuan rent in the city, so he had to settle down in the wilderness. When he came to this barren jungle, he immediately fell in love with the upright Loess cliff in front of him. In order not to suffocate the whole village, he felt the hardness was just right. It was very suitable for building a shelter. He immediately cleared the weeds that were in the way. He took out his great-grandfather's precious hoe and started to hoe the cliff. He is worthy of being a graduate of Shandong Langxiang. His powerful digging skills allowed him to dig more than 6 meters deep in a short time. But the height was not high enough, so he continued to expand the space until June could stand up. Then he used a homemade compass to draw a circular outline with the center point in a circle. He waved a small shovel to shave off the excess soil on the edge. A round table for drinking tea and eating was ready. As the hole was more than 10 meters deep, more and more dirt was dug out, and it was inconvenient to remove the dirt, so he had a brainwave. He first collected 2 long logs and then used short wooden stakes with a sharpened end to drive into the ground as pillars, from inside the hole to outside the hole, and then fixed the logs on the pillars and installed the finished bucket. And it was really smooth after a test. This combination of industrial technology and traditional craftsmanship made Ajun feel extremely relaxed, although he had a labor-saving tool. But Ajun did not slack off, but continued to repeat the same action. He moved the shovel more vigorously, like a machine that never rested. Soon a large bed on the top of the lake and a candlestick were dug out, and a lit candle was placed on it. And along the curved edge of the top of the bed, exquisite lines were carved out, and a few more candlesticks were dug out and candles were placed in them and lit, and the room was immediately filled with a warm and clear artistic flag. As the saying goes, if you want to live well in the wild, you must build a fireplace. The wide cave space allows June to give full play to his creativity. After digging out the European-style wall, a square fireplace gradually emerged. The 90-degree corners are neat and tidy. Even if you use a right-angle plate to measure, the error will not exceed 1 millimeter. Then we came to the bottom of the cliff. We had to open a smoke exhaust channel connected to the fireplace. It is not difficult to see from Ajun's height that the depth of the excavation must be at least 3 meters. As the white smoke from the candles drifted towards the clouds, it proved that the construction of the fireplace was very successful. He continued to dig out the stove at the bottom and carefully carved out the fulcrum for the stove to place the container. Thinking that he could move in earlier, Ajun did not rest but dug a groove along one side and dug all the way to the big bed. It turned out that Ajun wanted to make a northeast Kang with automatic heating. After digging all the heat-conducting grooves on the Kang, he accurately measured the length of the heat-conducting grooves, and then went to the wild to collect some bamboo chests and opened up all the bamboo nodes. Then drill holes and try to connect and combine them together. After completing it, return to the cave. After assembling them, install them into the corresponding grooves. After laying the bamboo pipes on the Kang, wooden plugs must be installed. Then cover the Kang with Loess. After the bed surface is flat and clean, remove the wooden plugs one by one. The pipes on the wall are filled and compacted with clay. They are evenly smoothed with a knife. The edges and corners are trimmed and polished neatly. Now it's time to witness the results. First, light the fire. As the fire gets stronger and stronger, the temperature of the pipe begins to spread to the bed. Heat also flows out of the heat transfer hole. A happy June immediately found a bamboo mat and spread it on the bed. This time, the wild northeast Kang with its own heating system is complete. If you like it, please give Ajun a big thumbs up. In the morning, Ajun went to the wild and collected 2 wooden stakes. He brought one back to the cave as a chair for resting and eating. He drilled another hole and connected a handle to turn Ajun into a wild tamping chicken. The ground was leveled and compacted. After finishing, he started to build another house. The familiar formula and the same operation made Ajun completely let go of himself. With his tireless spirit, soon the whole house was piled up into a small hill of soil. Fortunately, the slide rail transport device had not been dismantled yet. It continued to turn inward and extended to the front of the soil pile. Just fill the bucket with Loess and push it out easily to dump it, truly realizing the freedom of transportation. Here, Ajun is going to build a swimming pool. It is so comfortable to take a cool bath in the hot summer. Soon, the prototype of the swimming pool was completed. By the way, a shape was also made on the background wall. Then a water outlet was chiseled at the bottom of the swimming pool. The water outlet pipe with a cover was embedded. Then 82-year-old mountain spring water was poured into the loess and stirred repeatedly. Wild clay with a viscosity comparable to that of waterfish was obtained. The clay was evenly applied to the inside and outside of the swimming pool. These beautiful riverbed sands and stones were collected with a backpack. They were sprinkled on the surface of the clay. Suddenly, there was a sense of salvation like the Northeast bathhouse. With a swimming pool, there must be water. According to Ajun's many years of experience in well digging, there must be a water source down there. No matter how hard it is, just do it. He is indeed a spirited young man. He has great explosive power. With the speed of his hands, which had lasted for 20 years as a single man, he soon dug to a depth of more than 3 meters. In order to make it easier to go up and down, he drove a wooden stake and tied a rope to it. It became much easier to get in and out. Water gradually emerged from the bottom of the well. Ajun leveled the bottom of the well and climbed back to the hut. He trimmed the outline of a well cover along the edge of the well. He measured the size of the well body and the well cover. He went out to find wooden boards and nailed them together horizontally and vertically. He then sawed off the excess along the good diameter. He installed the handle and the well cover was done. Then he went to find a thick and honest wooden stake. He split it in two and then used a chisel to separate the bones and flesh. The process was extremely relaxing. Please accept it, my friends. Then put them together to form a hollow well dam. Then he made a bubble cylinder piston out of bamboo. It can be used to squeeze water and increase pressure. Pressing the piston can achieve water storage flow from low to high. It looks very simple, and it is not complicated to do. Then heat the collected plastic into a viscous state. Apply it to the bottom of the piston to increase its sealing. Put the prepared bamboo bubble tube into the well and push it up and down continuously. Let the water fill the entire bubble tube and then put the well cover on. Use loess to lay and seal. At this time, it seems that there is no trace at all. I have to say that Ajun's craftsmanship is really top-notch. Then apply plastic to the joints of the well dam to stick tightly. Connect the water inlet pipe of the swimming pool. Apply plastic to the remaining gaps to completely seal them. Ensure that there will be no water leakage during operation. Then connect the bubble tube piston and the lever together. Insert the shaft pin and press it manually to generate pressure in the sealed space below. Under the action of pressure, the water source at the bottom of the well is sucked into the bubble tube through the soft piston and then filled up the well dam. When the well dam is full of water, it flows into the swimming pool through the water inlet. At this point, the entire deep well manual water pump is completed. While waiting for the swimming pool to be filled with water, the drainage pipe must also be made. Start installing it from the drainage port reserved in the swimming pool. All the way to the outside of the house, the entire drainage system is connected by bamboo tubes. After covering the pipes with loess, the drainage is also very smooth. Who can refuse to go on a hearty wild fishing trip in such an environment? Ajun caught a big catfish with a homemade fishing rod. Back at the shelter, the swimming pool was already full. Ajun went to the swimming pool to wash off his tiredness. Then he skewered the catfish on a bamboo pole and baked it in the fireplace until both sides were golden brown. Then he served it on a round table. With a little homemade hot sauce on it, it was such a treat. Millions of people on the internet were drooling over it.